next talk is by Vidwan Dr. Jammalamadaka Srinivas ji, and he will be speaking on the topic Advaitavijayaḥ, a unique vādagrantha by Rāmarāyakavi ji. Just a brief introduction to the speaker. Dr. Jammalamadaka Srinivas ji is a scholar. He is the IKS courses Siddhanta Knowledge Foundation is currently working there. He has studied Nyaya Shastra under Sri Ambadipudi Radhe Shyama Shastri, and he has studied Advaita Vedanta under Sri Mani Dravid Shastrigal and Vyakarana under Sri Ghanti Dattatreya Murthy ji. He has completed his Tenali exams in Tarka Shastra and has appeared for Tenali exams in Advaita Vedanta. He has also completed his PhD in Nyaya Shastra. He was previously working as assistant professor at School of Shastric Learning in Kavikulaguru Kalidasa Sanskrit University, Ramtech, and is currently with the Siddhanta Knowledge Foundation. He has received many awards such as Tarkaratnam and Vidwan Mani by Sri Kanchi Shankaracharya, Shastra Kalanidhi by Madhya Pradesh State Governor. We are very glad to have you here, Srinivas ji. Please go ahead and start your session.
Thank you, Nitinji. Om Shuklam Varadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhayam Prasannavadhanam Dhyayet Sarvavighnopashantaya Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So I would first of all thank Nitinji for bringing up this and for organizing this symposium, because due to this only we all were actually forced to actually go through some of our Rāmarāyakavi's works. So because normally we are all used to some other works studying, but it's a really great opportunity, I would say. So I've gone through this a very unique work called Advaitavijayaḥ by Sri Rāmarāyakavi. So just a second, I'll just share my. So why it is a unique vādagrantha. So as Sri Maheshwaranji also has given a very good summary on another vādagrantha, which is Advaitamritam just now. So we are very much used to vādagranthas in a way that they are formally written. That means the Purva Pakshas or the Purva Pakshas viewpoint is also very much documented formally, and even the answer also. But normally Vada in practice, if we see, it will be like a conversation that one will put forth one's viewpoint and other will contradict with it. So this is how actually it is moreover like a dialogue that's happening. So we have very little works in that format, and due to and this Advaita Vijayaḥ is partially, I mean half of that work is literally in the conversation mode. So there are two people talking. So one is of Advaita Siddhanta and the other one belongs to the Vishishtadvaita Siddhanta. So in that way, this is a very unique work, and we understand how actual debates can also happen, and maybe we can even author works like in this style also. And the other uniqueness of this work I would like to state would be normally all the works start with a Mangalacharana, they end with a another shloka or some other comments in the end like that. But this it just starts with a way without any Mangalacharana. So this is one Shishta Grantha I have seen which doesn't follow the formalities of doing a Mangalacharana and stating the Prayojana and all that. So that way this is another unique style that has been approached. And this Rāmarāyakavi Mahabhaga has written many kinds of works, in which some of the works are oriented or they're focused upon the Khandana of the Vishishtadvaita Vedanta. So, as Rāmarāyakavi, he himself belongs to that sampradaya, but after studying some of the Shankara Bhashya, he understood that it is said that he initially, while studying the Ramanuja Bhashya and etc., he had some doubts, or he just thought that maybe he did not understand some of the concepts belonging to those Bhashyas initially. But after studying Shankara Bhashyas, he understood, his opinion was maybe there was the viewpoint of the Vishishtadvaita Vedanta is not right, and there he started authoring works in the Khandana, doing the Khandana of the Vishishtadvaita Vedanta concepts, and Bhashyarka Prakasha is one such work on Bhagavad Gita, and even Advaita Vijaya, the name itself states it is a Vijaya over. So what is, I mean, the title itself makes it evident that the treatise is about the victory of the Advaita school of thought. Upon whom? So victory is upon whom? Victory over the Vishishtadvaita Vedanta school of thought. So, keeping this in mind and the uniqueness of the work, so we have three kinds of katha or vada, we say vada, jalpa, and vitanda. And due to the title and the kind of treatment that has undergone, I mean, that we see in the work, we can actually this conversation format will come under the jalpa kind of a katha or vada. So what is jalpa? So in the Nyaya Sutras we find this yathoktopapannaha chalajati nigrahasthana sadhanopalambaha jalpa. So this is the sutra. So jalpa is essentially will be having all the constituents of vada. So what are those constituents of vada? They are supporting and condemning by the means of proof and reasoning. So you have to put forward a conception and a counter conception. So there will be two viewpoints which contradict each other on one common substratum, and each and every party will be putting forth their viewpoints based on, I mean, they will use the what you call the proofs, that the pramanas, according to pramanas they put forth, and in order to structure their debate, they use the Panchavayava system or the five-membered syllogism, usage of five-membered syllogism to support and condemn. And the other one is to not oppose the main doctrine. So you do not go against your the main fundamental understanding. So, and supporting and condemning and these are the four. The first four characteristics belong to the Vada. So that is why, that is what has been summarized in the sutra by stating yathokta upapanna. That means all the constituents of Vada are there in Jalpa. And Chala Jati Nigrahasthanas are three kinds of means that can be used in order to condemn or support the viewpoints. And the purpose would be Vijigishu Katha Jalpa. So what is the purpose of Jalpa? Is to victory. So the title would actually reflect that. So Vijigisha is reflecting from the title. So we can consider this to be a Jalpa Grantha in that way, if you want to go a bit more deeper into which kind of a Vada, because we do have certain Vadas which are aimed towards knowing the truth or the tattva of particular subject. But here it is more oriented towards condemning the other's viewpoint. And so how the Advaita Vijaya, the work can be actually, is two parts. In two parts we can actually divide it. The first part is called as Vadi Prativadi Sambadaha. So the first part itself is called Vadi Prativadi Sambadaha. Sambadaha means exchanging a conversation. Samvada is a conversation between two people, and you have a Vadi and a Prativadi. And the second part is called as Siddhanta Bhaga, wherein in the first part, the whole Vishishtadvaita Vedanta doctrine is summarized so beautifully. All their fundamentals are summarized, and then starts the Advaita Pakshas Khandana over the Vishishtadvaita Vedanta Pakshas, taking each and every point. And there again we have I mean, even we have Purva Paksha and Siddhanta and so on and so forth. And considering considerably, this work is not too big or not too short. It is a medium, it has considering amount of content is there. So I'll be just providing some of the nuances of of the book, so that because going through the whole text is not possible. So I'll just try to um, just introduce how the work actually is. And it's very wonderful. It was very beautiful to actually, the experience was really enthralling for me, because as a student of Nyaya Shastra, Vada is one of our own concept, and seeing that being implemented in a very unique way, and this is kind of a revolution in those times, I would say, as the traditional conventional writing style was different, and he broke that style, and he introduced another type of style. So here the Vadi is the Advaiti and the Prativadi is Visishtadvaita. So so the work starts with Vadi saying Aham Brahmasmi. That's it. So you don't have any Mangala Charana or anything. It's just saying that Vadi Aham Brahmasmi. So that means I am the Brahman, or the omnipresent Brahma, the ultimate reality. And the Prativadi says Natvam Brahmasi. So you're not you're not Brahman. So here the contradictory views. Yourself being Brahman is one's viewpoint, and not being the other party is actually condemning it. So this qualifies to be a katha, or a vada or a jal. And Brahmaivahamasmi. So there is a typo. So again, the Vadi or the Advaiti says that no, I am Brahman. So the Prativadi or the Vishishtadvaitavedi says, no, Jiva eva tvamasi. You are Jiva. You are just a living creature. You are not Brahma. So the Vadi or Advaiti says, no, Naham Jiva. So I am not a mere Jiva. Then again, the Prativadi says, Natvam Brahma. So he says, no, you are not Brahma. And then Kutoham Jivaha. So Vadi or the Advaiti asks, why am I considered to be a Jiva? And says, the Prativadi or the Vishishtadvaita Vedanti says, Karmadhina Janma Maranadi Prayukta Sukha Dukha Sambhoga Lakshana Samsara Vatva. So because you are immersed in the cycle of birth and death, Karmadhina, so Janma Maranadi Samsara. So this is a life cycle. So it goes on. The cycle is, it seems to be endless. And experiencing pleasure and pain, Sukha Dukha Bhoga is experience of pleasure and pain based on, dictated by your karma or actions. It's not mere actions. We can actually take it to be Papa and Punya also. And hence you are bound by this framework. And hence you are Jiva and you cannot be Brahma. Then again, the Advaitavadi contradicts, asks, Kaf Punar Brahma, if I am not Brahma and I am a mere Jiva, then who is Brahma? Then the Prativadi says, Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna is Brahma. Kutaha, why Shri Krishna? Why is that? Why is Shri Krishna Brahma? Purushottamatvat. So he is Purushottamaha. Uttamaha. Purusheshu Uttamaha. So he is the supreme being. No one is greater than Shri Krishna, and hence he is Brahma. Then Tadapi Katham, then the Vadi asks, Tadapi Katham, how can you say that Shri Krishna is Brahma? Sarvajñatvat, Sarveshwaratvat, Sarva Jagad Utpada, Jagad Udaya Vibhava Laya Hetutvacha. So he is Sarvajña. He knows everything. He is omniscient. And Sarveshwaratvat, he is the Lord of all. He is above everyone, and he controls everyone. And Sarva Jaga Dudaya Vibhava Laya Hetutva. So he is the cause for creation, preservation, and dissolution of this universe. So Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayanti abhisambhishanti. So this is the tatastha lakshana of the Parabrahma, and this definition perfectly fits Shri Krishna, and hence Shri Krishna is Brahma and not yourself or myself. Kimatramanam. Then Advaiti asks, what is the evidence for this? Then the Prativadi says, Sakshat Sri Krishna Bhagavad Gita eva, Sri Krishna Bhagavad Gita eva. That means in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna himself says, Vedahametam samatitani vartamani cha Arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. Brahmayan sarvabhutani yantrarudhani mayaya is another verse, and aham sarvasya jagatah. Actually, the verb states it to be sarvasya jagatah, but now we normally find it aham kritsnasya jagatah prabhava pralayasthatha. And so on and so forth are the evidence that Sri Krishna, he himself says that Vedaham, no, you know me to be samatitani vartamanani cha Arjuna. Sri Krishna, he says that I know the past, present, and the future. Bhavishyani cha bhutani mantu vedana kaschana. No one knows me, but I know everything. I know past, future, and present. That means I know all the three, times. And Brahmayan Sarvabhutani Yantrarudhani Maya. He says, by Maya, I mean, with the help of Maya, I revolve all the living wheels on the, in the wheel of samsara, and I am source of all. Aham sarvasya kritsnasya jagataha prabhava pralayastata. I am source of the all and also their dissolution. So here they again try to put this abhinna nimittopadanatva also is being. Thus, the words of Bhagavad Gita are, they themselves are proof that Sri Krishna, he is saying that he is, the cause for the creation and sustenance and also dissolution of this particular universe. So this is what is the Ishvara, the definition of Parabrahma, and hence Sri Krishna is Brahma and not yourself. And then again the Advaiti says, Krishnopi Vasudevat Devakyan Jato Mritascheti Samsari Jiva Eva. So we come to know that Sri Krishna also was born to Devaki Sutta, and Vasudeva Sutam Devam. So that is what we also know. And he died in the Mausala Parva in the Mahabharata. We come to know how the Yadava clan actually perished, and afterwards, and how Sri Krishna left this mortal body. So we know that he was born to someone and then he left the mortal body. And how can you state that he being Brahman? Because if it is Brahman, he doesn't have any creation nor destruction, but he is said to be born and he is said to be having death, as we all have. So how can you say that he is Parabrahma? So then Prativadi said, Maivamvadi, don't argue so. Maya manusha vigrahatvat krishnasya. So the body, whatever the Sri Krishna actually adores, is because of Maya. Leelayahi Bhagavan bhubharaharanartham sankalpavashat vasudevat bhuvi avatiranaha. So in order to relieve the earth's burden, he actually took the form of, as the mere human in the womb of Devaki and was born to Vasudeva. He is not an ordinary living being subjected to karma, but a divine incarnation. So he is not like us. For us, our birth is actually governed by the prarabdha karma, but not in the context of Sri Krishna. So Leelaya, it is because of his Leela Vilasa that he took birth on the in the womb of Devaki, and he was born as son of Vasudeva. Therefore, he is not bound by samsara. We are all bound by samsara because our birth and death is governed by our prarabdha, whereas for Sri Krishna it is not so, and hence he is beyond us, and he can be the Parabrahma and we cannot be the Parabrahma. So then again the Advaiti asked, Leelaya samsaratopi Krishnasya katham brahmatvam. Okay, even if Krishna was born and lived in this world of samsara, how can he be Brahman? Because he is in samsara, right? So how can he qualify to be a Brahman? So the Prativadi or the Vishishtata Vedanti says, Leela samsarasya swayattattvena abandhakatva. Because Sri Krishna is not an ordinary being subject to the cycle of samsara. As we said, he is not governed by this prarabdha karma. He is Brahman himself, incarnating in the world for divine play. So for the sake of Leela that he is here. Even in Bhagavad Gita, in other this thing, it is not for the sake of doing karma that I am doing. No, I am participating in this particular yuddha and performing karma. So he says that if I do not perform karma, many people will take me as idol and not performing karma, and they all will not perform karma, and that will lead to very perilous situations. So for that sake, for the sake of loka anugraha, that I am performing karma. Nakuryam karma chet sankarasya cha kartasyam upahanyam imaf praja. So he says that if I do not perform karma, then all the others will follow me by not performing karma, and that will lead to the varna sankarya, which is not good for the cosmos, equilibrium of this universe. And then so on and so forth. All this, goes on in this way, and in somewhere in between, we find some kinds of small. We understand that this Jaya happening. Aham Brahmasmi. He started with Aham Brahmasmi, the contradiction Natvam Brahmasi, and then the conversation goes in such a way that the opponent or the Vishishtadvaita Vedanta Paksha agrees to the opening statement. Kim Krishna Sharire Iva Asmadadi Sharire Shvapyasti Paramatma. Is the Supreme Soul, Supreme Soul present in our bodies as it is in Krishna's body, so does the Paramatma resides in body like ours, just as it does in Krishna's body. So is it the same? Then the opponent says Om. Then he says Tarhi Brahmaivahamasmi. So in this way, we can actually understand that this can be considered to be a partial victory of the Advaita Paksha. So one thing by examining this, we understand that this is a wonderful conversation going around with all the usage of logic and pramanas from the Shruti, Smriti, and etc. and are happening. But one thing which is not evident here in the constituents of Jalpa, which we actually got introduced to just now, that the Panchavayava system is not evident. So we can understand that in a natural conversation, Panchavayava system or the five-membered syllogism in the structure or the way that you put forth is not evident. But if we actually analyze these conversations, we can definitely form again that we can document this conversation into the Panchavayava system also. So that is one thing that can be done over this work also. So this is the just a glimpse of how that Vadi Prativadi Samvada portion of this Advaita Vijaya is. And then we'll go to the Siddhanta Bhagapaksha, where the first, in the beginning, the doctrine of Vishishtadvaita Vedanta is summarized like Prakriti Purushaha Ishvaraschete Traya Padarthaha Tatra Prakriti Achetana Satya Nitya Drishya Ishvara Sharirataya Ishvaratmika Ishvara Sesha Bhuta Aswatantra Vibhi, and so on and so forth. So this is kind of introduction to the whole doctrine. So this is another unique aspect here that we normally in other vādagrantha's, what happens is whether it is Advaita Siddhi or even the Dvaita granthas also, they take some of the sections or some parts of some bhashya or some interpretation, and they say that this is not right, this is wrong, and so on and so forth. So normally what happens is, if I'm a student of Nyaya Shastra, I know bits and pieces of Mimamsa Darshana as a Purva Paksha. So I don't know whether what is their viewpoint and how do they actually explore the same concepts for the sake of Shaktivada. We normally have this word called Shakti, which the Mimamsakas say that it is an independent entity where Nayayikas contradict. So in that, from Tarka Sangraha or Deepika, we never know what actually Mimamsakas say about it, unless you go under you study some of the Mimamsa Prakarana Granthas, and there you find that Shakti is not a very big topic over there. But here it is taken, and upon that, in the in order to condemn it, a lot of text is actually, lot of arguments are actually developed. So what happens is, we just know some bits and pieces of the Pratipaksha, Purva Paksha many a times. what here the advantage in this bhaga or Siddhanta bhaga portion of this Advaitavijayaḥ is that we at least know some of the tenets of Vishishtadvaita Vedanta, because not just briefly, but in a very good summarization is given in around 5 pages or so in the book. You find it in 4 to 5 pages. You find all the tenets of the Vishishtadvaita Vedanta. Like Prakriti, the Purusha and Ishvara are identified as 3 fundamental entities. Prakriti is Achetana, that is inanimate, and it is Satya, eternal, true, Nitya and visible. It is even Nitya and Drishya also. It is visible, it is knowable, and it is the body of Ishvara, and hence it is dependent upon him, and so on and so forth. So in this way, we get to know what actually Vishishta, because being born into Advaita Sampradaya, you normally do not get introduced to the Vishishtadvaita Vedanta Sampradaya or their tenets, because it's not your school of thought. But afterwards, what happens is, after certain point, you need to know the viewpoints or their tenets also, because without knowing that, many Vādagranthas, for the sake of, for example, the Advaita Siddhi, in order to know Advaita Siddhi, you need to know what the Dvaita points viewpoint is. By studying only Advaita Siddhi, it is very hard to actually know what the whole picture of the opponent is not known. So in that way, this kind of a summarization will help us a lot in order to know the opponent's viewpoint. So this is another unique aspect of this work, which can be actually followed by even the contemporary scholars also, and this work will help the Advaita scholars or Advaita Sampradayis to know in gist about the Vishishtadvaita Vedanta Sampradaya and their viewpoint. And in the end, with the concluding remarks, we know that he is concluding to say that he is favoring Advaita Siddhanta. तस्मात् अपरिच्छिन्नः ईश्वरः एव जीवः ईश्वरस्यापि तस्य जीवत्वं भ्रान्तिसिद्धमेव. So Ishvara, he himself, Jiva is Ishvara, that is Jiva Brahma Abheda, and even the Jivatva, being a Jiva, is nothing but due to the ignorance. It is the illusion itself. It is not eternal truth. Jiva being different from the Ishvara, which is the opponent's viewpoint. Rajjoho sapatvameva bhranti hetustu maya. As the illusion of a rope being a snake is due to the ignorance or Maya, and in the same way, even in this world also, due to ignorance, that not being able to experience our one's own self, that we are having these illusions. This is called as Aupadhika Bheda. This difference between myself being different from the Ishvara and this world being different and this world being true and etc. are based on this kind of ignorance. So sacha atmatattva sakshatkaran nashyati. This illusion will be diminished by the experience of oneself being Brahman. Satitu maya nashe sarva dvaita nivrittiriti sishyate ekameva Brahma. After getting rid of, or after the diminishing of the Maya, what is left over? Left over is the only Parabrahma, which is your true own self. And with that, we can understand that everything is nothing but only the Brahma. And the Advaita Siddhanta will flourish, will definitely be true. Tacha asesham satyevam Advaite katham muktasya Ishvara samyapatti. So in the Vishishtadvaita Paksha, the highest thing that a jiva can attain is Ishvara Samyam. Salokyam, Sayutyam, and etc. is what they say. And how can, if there is no duality, how can there be Ishvara Samyam, that is being similar to or equal to Ishvara is not possible. So equal to Ishvara is only possible if there is dual, the duality is for real, but this duality is due to the Maya or ignorance. So hence, after experiencing the Parabrahma Tattva, there cannot be Ishvara Samya. Na kathamapi iti muktasya brahma sayujyameva. Brahma sayujyameva means being Brahman himself. Brahmavid brahmaiva bhavati is what the Shruti also says. And thus, in this way, this work concludes. And by stating Brahma sayujyameva, Rāmarāyakavi actually very firmly establishes the Advaita Siddhanta once again by refuting Vishishtadvaita Siddhanta. So, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Yadatra saušthavam kinchit tad guroreva me nahi. Yadatra saušthavam kinchit tan mamaiva name guru. So, if there is any virtue in my presentation, it is due to my gurus, and if there are any drawbacks, that is only due to my ignorance. And thank you.
Thank you very much, Srinivas ji. It was a very wonderful, very interesting presentation, especially the arguments and counter arguments, how Rāmarāyakavi has presented. It is simply very, very fascinating to me, and very, even it's not a dry thing. Some people say the philosophical study is dry, but when it is presented as this conversation, it makes it very interesting.
It's very natural. The thing is very natural. So
yes. So thank you very much for taking this text and highlighting.